Hey everyone, you are about to watch our EA special from E3 2019 coming up right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. We're talking everything that happened in EA, which is like 6 games. So definitely be sure to like and subscribe and let us know what you like from EA.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Comic Krew Podcast, your favorite comic book and pop culture podcast. And this week, you know what just happened in pop culture. I don't even need to tell you. E3 came out.
E3!
It was fantastic.
E3!
It was like 12 hours of nerd galore, even longer.
It was very exhausting.
Yes. We both watched it all. And today for you on this podcast, we're going to talk about all the conferences.
All of them.
We're going to talk EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, Nintendo.
Square Enix.
Not Sony because they're not here this year.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Ubisoft? I mean, I know. I'm a little soft.
Not you.
I've been
the
trying.
Company Ubisoft.
Oh, my God.
Yes. That was just an anecdote.
All right. No. Okay.
But Ubisoft as well. Yes, all of them. And as always, I'm Chris Heller.
And I'm Rob Moran. And we're going to jump right into E3.
Let's do it.
EA.
EA at least, yes.
EA in the E3.
Yes, EA was first.
Yeah.
It was a very odd schedule this year.
It was.
If you think about it. So EA was on Saturday.
I liked how EA was outside.
Yes, I did too. During the whole thing,
the aesthetics were very nice.
The whole time I'm like, what if it rains? It's Southern California. Like, what the fuck happens if it's going to rain?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, video games do not do well outside. Like, it's all tech.
I'm sure they had tents.
They must have had them. But, yeah, so, like, it was...
Weather Wizard was outside, like,
Weather
you
Wizard.
shall not rain here.
He's Gandalf?
He's a wizard.
What? He is a wizard.
That's the regulatory wizard talk right there.
Standard wizard talk has to have "you shall not" something. I like it. So yeah, EA started on Saturday, even though the open floor gameplay demo section didn't start till Tuesday. So technically, we had most of our panels and conferences before technically E3 started.
Which is strange.
Which was really early. I mean, it was a strange year anyway without Sony. You could definitely feel the presence without Sony.
Mm-hmm. It felt shorter, that's for sure.
Definitely felt shorter. But yeah, we had conferences from EA right in Saturday, so it started off on the weekend, which was great because more people could see it. And really, they only talked about 6 games.
All right.
But we really only want to talk about 2.
Really 1, and I want to mention the other game.
Really 1.
So what we want to talk about, you already guys know, we're going to have a picture right somewhere here. Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order. This is the new game from the Star Wars universe.
Woo!
It's going to feature a young Jedi, a Jedi in training, coming to master his powers in order to save, everybody.
The galaxy.
The galaxy, right?
The galaxy.
That's what they do. We have, this is canon, so we see Saul Guerrero.
Saul Guerrero!
And if you don't know who he is from Rogue One. Rogue One is, has a great third act of a movie. Some people don't like the movie. Some people love the whole thing.
I love it.
But the third act was fantastic.
It's Star Wars.
This takes place after Order 66.
Yes.
So after the elimination of all Jedi.
After Episode 3.
Yes. So we get to follow our young Jedi, who, as many of you guys are fans of Shameless and fans of Gotham, are going to recognize him.
Yes, Cameron Monaghan plays the young Jedi, and it looks just like Cameron Monaghan. It's a little like, oh shit, like this is clearly Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, and I like that the way that's what video games are going. It's like, all right, we're getting an actor involved. We're going to sell it because of him.
Yes.
I do believe, though, correct me if I'm wrong, this was alpha gameplay or something like that?
They did have...
Because they're going to... I would assume that they are going to tighten up some of the facial features to some of the other stuff.
Definitely. You could see that while they were doing this 15-minute demo, which was... First off, awesome.
Oh, I loved it. I watched the whole thing twice.
And this was very like a small linear piece of it. They have already said the game is way more open world than we think. There's a lot of different directions you could go in. This was kind of just like a, hey, we need to show off like what this character can do, the moves, the lightsabers, the force, all that cool stuff. But yeah, like we have 100% can tell that these like characters are still being upgraded. The graphics are still being tweaked a little. It comes out November 15th. So that's going to be one of the major... To me, this was one of the biggest games for this year.
Yes,
hands down.
I'm with you on that.
We got a lot of E3 stuff this year that was more for next year. So this was great to start off with a huge game that's going to be out this year that we can get our hands on this year. God bless you. Huh. I think I saw it coming because you were looking at me and you kind of had the flutter face.
I was like, don't sneeze. Sorry, I'm allergic to success.
I'm allergic to greatness. One of the things that I definitely. Oh, God bless you again. Now you're just being obnoxious. No,
I'm sorry. When Mother Nature calls, you can't ignore her.
But I think one of the biggest things of this game that I really, really was happy to see was one, and it's very simple, that it's actually coming out.
Well, yes.
That it's made and it's almost done, and
yes.
we all kind of know how the EA track record is when it comes to what they've done with Star Wars, what they haven't done with Star Wars.
I like the fact with this game, we saw a lot of different abilities being used, force, push, pull.
Different combos with it.
Him walking on the walls. One of my favorites was that he could slow time almost.
Yes, that was
and
awesome.
then he could bang it, bang the shots back and stuff like that. And you can see all these different things, and you can play however you want.
Yep.
For me, when I saw the slow, we didn't really see that in the Star Wars universe until Kylo Ren slow that bullet.
Yes,
and
that's what it reminded me of. 100%.
That was just the one bullet. It looks like this young Jedi, which I don't know his story. We might see him in the future. We might not. Who knows? But the fact that he could slow everything around him, I mean, yes, it's easier for a video game, but that just shows me, hey, Star Wars has more tricks in their pocket to use with the Force, and I like that.
100%, and I think that was, I think what they did at EA was actually really smart, where they took the movies and were like, all right, we're going to take bits and pieces out.
Definitely.
To help this game, because it's canon. And I think also it's not only those bits, but they've said they've taken stuff out of the EU book universe that we haven't seen yet that's going to be canon again, like bits and pieces. We know that this character survived after Order 66, obviously.
Yes.
He's been hiding out in a planet, basically doing almost like construction. Is forced to use his powers, then the Empire starts going after him and is hunting him, and he's basically helping the start of the rebellion. Because anytime you see Saw Gerrera, that's basically the start of the rebellion. Like Rogue One was the start of the rebellion. That character's been in Rebels, Saw Gerrera.
Did Saw Gerrera die in Rogue One?
Yes.
He
Remember
did.
when the planet gets
so this
demolished?
Is before that. Okay.
Yeah. So this is obviously before Rogue One. But again, we have Rogue One is right before Episode 4. So we have this 20-something year gap from Episode 3 to 4 that they could just play in a sandbox.
So
and do
this is right after 3.
I'm guessing this is very close to after 3 instead of closer to 4. This is definitely closer to 3.
Yes.
Because Order 66 happened. They're still hunting Jedi. They're still looking for any survivors from the Jedi Order.
So with this game, are we going to see our main character die?
That's a good question.
Or are we going to get a trilogy out of this if it's done well?
I think if it's done well, we can get a trilogy because there's so much time.
Okay.
I mean,
it's
honestly,
a lot of time. They can definitely.
How long in real world time? How long was God of War? Like a couple days. The new God of War lasted in reality.
Let's say a week.
A week max.
Let's say, yeah, I'm not sure.
Right, and how
it wasn't years. It wasn't years.
It wasn't, but it felt like months.
I could say maybe it was months.
But regardless, if you take this character, those missions, depending on missions, some of those could all happen in the same day. You have hyperspace and boom, boom. I mean, at this planet, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. They could do as many as they want. This, to me, is the first awesomely full-fledged action-adventure story mode Star Wars game since Force Unleashed.
Yes.
And I personally love Force Unleashed, especially the first one.
Well, Force Unleashed, you could kind of choose if you were good or bad, right?
Yes.
With this one,
that had a lot of replayability on it.
This one, they said for a fact that he's going to be good,
Yep.
and they have big storylines with him that they can't touch.
And they said there's no switching, but there's going to be a main storyline, which hopefully I'm sure they're banking on that this game is doing really well, and they're going to make a couple more. That's my guess. But
hopefully they don't have to worry about microtransactions or anything else.
They already said no microtransactions. Thank Christ.
Good.
Which I'm very happy about because
my name is Robert. Okay.
Yeah, it is. But they
how you doing?
They obviously we all know what happened with Battlefront 2
and Battlefront
with the microtransaction stuff. People were very unhappy with it. I think they've learned their lesson. This game looks really fun, awesome, canon. In story, you could technically watch the first couple movies, play this game, and watch the rest. I'm excited for it. I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
This might be my favorite out of all of E3, which we'll give our favorites at the end.
Of course.
One last thing I want to talk about, though.
Sure.
About this game. That little robot. How cute is he?
Bro,
he climbs on the back.
I love the droid.
I love it.
The droid is going to be almost to me, everything now, it's almost like a world of pre-God of War, post-God of War, in my mind.
What do you mean by that?
With, caliber of storytelling, with caliber of side characters. With
okay.
Not storyline, everything has to be this way, but like everything
that's set a
like,
standard.
That set the new standard and bar for like storytelling, emotion, gameplay.
I'm with you 100%.
Graphics, all the above. And I think as far as this game, the droid BD1, which stands for Buddy Droid, which is really cool.
I like that.
Which is simple but so cool.
Effective.
That is going to have like it's almost like you're Atreus, right? Like it's like your sidekick character that helps you out in ways that you can't. Not just opening doors, but like giving you health packs, having like the little shock thing, crawling into places you can't go, stuff like that.
I think EA, because out of all of the conferences, which we're gonna obviously get through everything, Avengers got the most flack for graphics, right?
And lack of gameplay.
Yes, EA. They know that like, all right, maybe our graphics are not up to snuff, but all the heat is on Avengers.
Yeah.
We know that there is this God of War benchmark standard.
Yes.
All right, while everybody's yelling at them, let's make sure. Hey, we're Star Wars. We got Star Wars money.
Yeah.
We gotta let's make sure this looks really nice.
And also just Avengers standards in general.
Well,
and Marvel standards, which we'll get to.
But
like, I agree 100%. Like, you have all these standards now with the way that God of War kind of blew everyone off their seat.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of almost like, all right, this is the standard. Let's meet it in our own way. Let's take stuff that, Star Wars, everyone knows Star Wars. Everyone knows everything about Star Wars. Not everyone knows everything about God of War.
No.
But everyone knows everything about Star Wars. How do we make this accessible to everyone, yet raise that bar? So hopefully this game does it. I'm very excited. I love the gameplay. I loved also an aspect. The droid was one of my favorite things.
Yes.
Also the fact that there are living organic creatures we've never seen in the movies.
Yes,
like
I love that.
Like those fucking spiders that are terrifying.
Oh my god.
Those giant like Harry Potter-esque spiders.
They're great.
Was awesome to see that combat where like they web you up and you have to like break out of the web. The combo moves to kill them like was awesome.
I think there's so much yet to be seen with this game.
100%.
And I think this is going to be insta-buy for all Star Wars fans.
Yep.
And I think this is going to be an insta-buy for people who love story gaming.
100%, which I love story gaming. I love Star Wars, so this is an easy buy for me. My one last question about this game.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars games we've had involve like almost like their fast travel involves like they do a cinematic through space and then boom, you're out of there and you show up on the next planet.
Mm-hmm.
Does this game allow you to fly in space? Almost compared to like almost like a gummy ship style, like in Kingdom Hearts, or like Battlefront, where there's a lot of space battles in Battlefront, which to me is the lore of Battlefront. But do you get to fly in space? Are there space battles in this game?
I'm gonna
like. Do you fight a fucking Death Star?
I'm gonna say no.
Do you see the start of the Death Star? Do you see Star Destroyers coming after you?
I think you might see them like from the ground looking up.
Yeah.
I think just the feel of this game has very down-to-earth vibe, which kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we saw a lot of a jungle planet.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see a lot of like space flying stuff like that. I think this has to focus more on the Jedi.
Yeah.
More on his mission, his path, what a Jedi actually means, and what he has to do.
If he's going to be in that gray area as he goes from Padawan to Jedi Knight.
I don't think it has to do like Star Wars as a whole. I think this is more of a character-driven story, which means that we're not going to need to waste time and effort in the space battles.
What did you think about the new Rogue Troopers?
They look good.
Were created for this game.
I saw that. They look really good. I like
awesome.
the double-sided like staff thing they were fighting. He tried to force push him in the demo,
and he drag stopped.
Great.
I love also that it felt
like a boss almost.
And from what we saw, it felt like they can take care of themselves. Like, shit, you have to block and defend yourself, and he's moving you back too.
Yeah.
Like, you are not just going to overpower everyone. Like, obviously we had the regular stormtroopers. I think the best scene of that trailer, that gameplay trailer, was when he force stopped one of the bullets, one of the laser blasts, and then force pulled the stormtrooper and put him in front of the bullet.
That was great.
I was like, this is so badass. That was so cool.
I'm definitely going to play a lot with the freezing of time. I'm like, ha ha ha, slap.
La 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 la. Throw my lightsaber and kill you. La 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 la. And just like kill the shit out of it. Like, it's going to be like combo crazy, which I love.
And everybody's going to have their own unique style.
Exactly. And the uniqueness too of like they said. So like there's a scene where the spiders come in, they start killing all the stormtroopers in an area.
Yeah.
You can decide like, hey, you can sit back and watch those spiders kill everyone, and then you basically have to kill off the spiders, or you could jump in and kill everyone because that's how you're going to get skill points. You need the experience to start leveling up.
I can't wait to see the tree when they release it, like the skill tree.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
One other game we want to talk about from the E3 conference is Apex Legends.
Yes.
And the main reason I want to talk about this, when this game first came out, this was supposed to be the Fortnite killer, right? This was supposed to kill all other battle royales.
The Fortnite killer.
And then it kind of like they didn't really create new content. It kind of like left it, create a new hero here and there.
Which I think is because they were working on Star Wars, honestly.
True.
Because Apex was really big when it came out.
I think, they kind of explain more of it. They want to take more of a seasonal approach.
Yep.
Which means each season they're going to release stuff and not like hot fix it during the season.
Yep.
Fortnite definitely does new fixes every week into something new. Apex is like, all right, here's a new legend. Here's a new season. You're getting all this new stuff. Mm-hmm. Have fun. They're going to release a new hero. A new legend. I keep saying hero from Overwatch, but a new legend. She is pretty much, she grew up in the battlefield.
Yes.
She helped made it with her father, so all the legends already know her.
Yep.
So they're getting more into the lore of the story, which I love, as I'm sure you do too.
If you're playing any type of like massive multiplayer game, like a little context to backstory never hurts. Right?
Exactly.
Like, and especially like I thought that was really smart. They had a character that they're bringing in who has been there the whole time, who has watched it from afar, kind of like the kid who always wants to play with the adults but hasn't been able to yet.
Yeah.
Who's finally getting that shot to jump in with the legends and go nuts.
This reminded me of deep cut here in Detective Comics. We're talking about the Arkham Knight.
Yes.
And how she pretty much grew up in the Arkham Asylum, and like they all know her. Like,
which was awesome.
This is a direct parallel.
Yep. 100%.
Unintentionally, I would assume.
Yep.
But what I do like, they're releasing a new gun. It's going to be, in the drop only. So that's fine. It's going to be OP. I've seen the gameplay of it. It looks fantastic. New cosmetic armor. They have this new elite mode. So if you finish in the top 5 of the game, you're allowed. It's, by the way, next to impossible. My brother is fucking Mikey. He's great at this game. You should watch him play.
Top 5? Mike's top 5?
Mike wins games all day long. I don't understand. I was like, Mike, I can't be.
Mike, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He's like, I carry my team. And I'm like, can I play with you? He's like,
no.
I'm like, all right, thanks. But like, if you win or if you're in the top 5 of the squads, you get to go into this like Apex Legends like top 5 elite, and then you can fight with the elites of the elite. So everybody is as good as you or better.
Wow.
They're introducing ranked mode, so now I think this game's gonna get more competitive. Fortnite never had a competitive mode. Everybody likes competitive, so like, all right, this is my ranking. I am gold tier. I'm silver. I'm bronze. I am diamond. I'm gonna be wood. I'm nice and low.
I'm wood.
My brother's probably gonna be diamond, and like it's gonna be great. So it's gonna have a more competitive aspect. Also, there's gonna be a map event. So map events don't really happen in these kind of games. Fortnite kind of made it the big thing. So when you had like Tilted Towers change, you had like the snow monster coming out now. You had a volcano. You had all this crazy stuff. And now in Apex, we saw an eye. So I guess they're going to release a monster, which makes sense. It's the Apex monsters. Yeah. We see the monsters on the outskirts everywhere. So everybody's been theorizing. So I think that Season 2 is going to bring new life into Apex. And more people are going to look at it as the more serious and competitive game to play.
I think that's like what EA should do with this, right?
Yes.
Like make it something that is like, hey, we want to see this at esports arenas.
I think that's what they want to do.
Like we want to see Apex in more esports arenas. We want this game to survive. Like we're going to make it seasonal. So like, boom, new pack out, fix whatever we need to fix.
Yes.
Boom, new stuff out, keep people coming back. And I think that's especially with the way, like I said, esports arenas way too many times already. But
that's fine.
The way that those are set up, it's a lot of these massive MMOs that you want to see a game like that. They're like, hey, this is ours. Fuck, we're not going to make a new one. Let's upgrade this one and make it better.
That's what Overwatch they've been doing.
Exactly.
Like crazy.
Exactly.
But now they might do Overwatch 2, which we'll get to when we have more
information. And this is the 10th legend, I believe, that they've...
Yes.
There's now 10 legends?
Yes.
Okay. So,
and I think
they're on the right track.
Yeah, and they're going to do balance fixes. They're going to make certain guns stronger. They made a joke for all you Apex Legend fans, the Mozambique, which everybody hates. It's that little shotgun. It's terrible. You get it, you throw it away. They're like, oh, we might be buffing that, which is great because...
Upgraded. Now it's going to be the best gun to get out.
Yeah, everybody's like, I want the Mozambique. I want it. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But I just think that, EA had a lot of good stuff this year.
Yeah, I mean, they talked a little Battlefield 5 upgrade, which, I guess...
New maps.
Whoever's still playing that. Obviously, their big sports games are always FIFA and Madden.
Yeah.
You're going to update those every year. And they talked about The Sims, which still has a pretty decent following. Sims 4 looks like way more expanded. pretty cool.
Have you seen the meme on The Sims?
No.
So maybe it was a story I was reading, right? And they're like, oh, this guy was playing The Sims. He made them all computer scientists and computer like hackers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then in the game, they realized that they were in a simulation. All of them were working together. And then he unplugged his computer and threw it away. He's like,
That's great.
I can't.
It's like Terminator coming.
What if we were The Sims?
I'd believe that. Yeah.
What if God's just playing a big game in The Sims?
I'd believe that because my life should not be real. Not like I should be dead, but like it doesn't make sense. Life doesn't make sense in general.
Yeah, I believe it.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's literally EA in a nutshell.
EA was short.
EA was short and sweet. They brought back Greg Miller, which was always nice to see.
Yeah.
Used to be on IGN. And yeah, EA literally were like, hey, we have 6 games we want to talk about. This is what we're talking about. Obviously, the biggest game was Star Wars.
So I was going to ask you. I mean, it's a little redundant for EA, but what was the best game that EA put out?
Hands down, it was Star Wars, in my opinion.
I am with you on that.
I understand those who would pick Apex Legends with all the new stuff.
I don't know if anybody would pick anything over the Star Wars.
I mean, if you're a multiplayer person and you don't care about one-player stories, I don't get
yeah,
that,
but most people are a Star Wars fan. I was asking Mike about it because he's huge in Apex, and I was
like Star Wars.
Yeah,
though.
I was like, what won EA? He's like, Star Wars, Rob.
Yeah,
it's always Star Wars.
Star Wars. But yeah, no, Star Wars looks hands down awesome as hell. I can't wait. I like that they're showing some story, but not telling us the arcing story. I want to go in almost like God of War again.
Yep.
Be very surprised, see what's new, see stuff I haven't seen. As a Star Wars fan, with all the movies and the amount of time we've had these movies, a lot of Star Wars fans think they know it all. We think we know everything.
But you don't.
But we don't. And to throw a game in that is completely, basically an unknown part of this universe and timeline, I think it's going to be really fun.
All right, guys. That wraps up EA's conference. Stay tuned.